Alright everybody, this is video number 4 on the Torus field and the ether. So this is lesson 1, video C. What I want to talk about and describe is a little more explanation with the Torus field. What we're talking about, what we're looking at. In previous videos you see this board, and this is just the way I saw it in my head, and I threw it on the board. It doesn't have to have a double helix here and a single helix there. It's just the way I drew it. But the basic principle is the same. You have the center point, the Z point, Z pinch, a black hole. There's a lot of ways to look at it. This is the middle point. Everything spins around this area. You have the dielectric plane here. This is the accretion disk. This is where matter's, the dense physical matter is made. This is the torus field around, or magnetic field. This is the aura, the shell around that matter. So with that shell around it, the shell of vibration around this Z pinch point that's squeezing and sucking everything into that bathtub drain, it condenses into matter. And that's how we get our physical reality. That's how we get galaxies, Milky Ways, atoms, cells, all of it. It starts here. Now, to extrapolate from that point, we go from cells and atoms, we go to solar systems. Now, with solar systems, you see Sol's in the center, the sun. This is magnetically and electrically dancing with all these planets. So in the previous video, 1B, I showed you on a ferrocell, the little round disc with the lights in it, that magnetic fields can attract or repel. And you saw that visually. So if you didn't watch that video, please go back and look at it, or when you're done with this video. But you'll see there's a difference, the way the fields grab each other. And it's basically based on spin. So if you have one spinning to the right, clockwise, and another spinning to the right, they're going to repel each other. They don't want to mesh. If you have one spinning to the right, one spinning to the left, they're going to conjoin and work together. So these all repel just enough, but also attract just enough to keep them locked where they are, where they belong. The reason that happens is because of resonance, or frequency, harmonics. So if the sun's vibrating at a certain frequency, and the Earth, Terra, is vibrating, typically what we heard now is 7.83 hertz. It goes up to 40s, it goes lower than that. It fluctuates all the time, based on how consciousness is living. So if we're in balance, we're all, driving cars that are running on water, and we're using plants for medicine instead of synthetic chemicals. We're no longer pumping oil out of the ground, minerals, and polluting the air. There's hundreds of things. I'm not going to get into it now, but if we were living more in harmony, Earth's vibration would be in more harmony, more harmonious. We wouldn't have as many storms. We wouldn't have intense, solar issues that we're having right now. A lot of things wouldn't be out of balance the way they are. So it's all based on how this frequency is, based on how your frequency, my frequency, how your torus field is resonating. So when your torus field is resonating out of harmony, it's, I think, acidic. I'll show you some visuals in another one. I have videos on my channel already about that, but we'll get into that in this course, because I'm going to wrap everything into this, everything I know at least. Basically, you're looking at the torus field has become acidic, which means it's vibrating so fast that it's losing its shape. It's getting chaotic. It's stretched out, and dividing and balanced. It's not in harmony. When that happens, your body's out of balance. When your body's out of balance, your lifestyle's out of balance. When your lifestyle's out of balance, your relationships are out of balance. When your relationships are out of balance, other people in your family are out of balance. When they're out of balance, then the society's out of balance. When society's out of balance, this local region's out of balance, the state, country. And when that's all out of balance, the whole world gets out of balance. And then Earth starts vibrating at a frequency that's not harmonious to this dance. So if she's stepping on everyone's toes because we're not living in harmony, we're just living off of ego, greed, give me this, give me that, burn that fossil fuel, not even fossil fuel, burn that mineral fuel. I know they call it fossil fuel, but it's not. Just taking and polluting. Our Teflon pans are poisoning our body. Our water, our tap water is poisoning our body. What they call medicine now is actually synthetic chemicals poisoning our body. So there's so many out of balance things that are causing us to be out of balance, and Terra, Earth. When that happens, the sun feels her vibration through these lines. There's literally lines traveling through. They feel that. You saw this on the ferro cell. Those little lines of force that either connected the magnets or repelled them. It's the same thing. We have the same thing here. So if he says, if soul, the sun, I'm saying he because sun is masculine, it's outward pushing. Doesn't mean it's only masculine. I think it's both, but because it does have pulling inside force as well. But typically people refer to as masculine, especially in alchemy and things like that. The sun is masculine, the moon is lunar. It's just feminine. So when this sun notices that Terra is out of balance, she's vibrating unharmoniously, he's going to warn her, because all these guys notice it too. All these other planets, her sister planets, brothers and sisters, I guess you could say. So if she doesn't get her stuff, she has mechanisms to get us back into balance. Natural disasters, what we call them, earthquakes, fires, plagues, tsunamis, hurricanes, tornadoes. There's all kinds of things going on. If that doesn't work, if we don't get the picture, a lot of stubborn humans, we get beat up and we're just, all right, we're good, we're fine, we'll just keep going. We don't realize it, we power through it. And then she's like, well, the humans aren't listening, I gotta get a little louder. And then she does something catastrophic, like a massive plague. Not saying that she did this plague by any means. This is, now consciousness does all of this, but the COVID that we're hearing about now is a false flag designed to do a lot more. It's designed to wipe out most of society and control those who are remaining. But that doesn't mean that the virus is fake. It is a real virus, but our bodies can heal it and deal with it with no problem. This was used as a scapegoat to scare us, so we mask ourselves, use antibacterial soap, thus weakening our immune system. So when a real dangerous bug comes that they're planning in October, which is 2 months from now, 3 months from now, it'll wipe out more people. Unfortunately, that's what they're trying to do. I don't want them to do it. I don't want anyone to get hurt, but I know this is what they're doing. This is what they've been planning. Universal consciousness, the universal laws, consciousness, you can't do things to consciousness without it agreeing to it. So these beings have to talk to our subconscious mind, tell us they're going to harm us, and then tell the conscious mind, no, we're not, it's cool, it's a joke, don't worry about it. But the subconscious heard it, and it knows it. It's like, oh shit, what's going on? So we know we're being poisoned, but our conscious mind's ignoring it. And that's the big weapon they're using against us. But I don't want to go on too much of a tangent. The point of this is, if the Earth can't get us back on track, if we don't pay attention, deal with our own shit, deal with our emotions, deal with our traumas, all past racism and hatred and persecution, that most of it, I'm not saying it's no one's fault and we're all humans, we're all good, but most of the real bad stuff that we see in this world is being manipulated by certain egos who are trying to make everyone fight so they can control us. It's the only way you can control us, if you make us fight and distract us. So those egos have been trying to hurt us. Now, if we don't see that and say, all right, enough of you egos, stop harming people, we're isolating you. You're getting quarantined and not us. The unbalanced egos are getting quarantined. The healthy people who are living in harmony with nature and taking care of themselves, they're allowed to do things the right way continuously. So once we do that, we'll slowly, actually pretty quickly, if you notice when everything went down to quarantine, like in a month, things cleared up, skies cleared up, birds and animals are coming back faster than ever. So the world heals fast. We heal fast. But we've been doing so much damage all the time, every day, that we don't realize that it's trying to catch up. And we're just keep beating it up every day. So, long story short, if Terra doesn't do it, the sun does it. The next video I'm going to make, I think we can link it in this lesson, because this is more of a physics starting ground, but I'm going to go into history next, and health. I'm going to branch into a couple things at once, you'll see it. And whichever path you want to take, you'll take, but they all circle back to this. So I want to start with this. If the Earth and we don't take care of ourselves, the sun does it. Now this has happened many times in the past. I know of 4 times that we've been reset. I'm not saying it was always the sun, but it has been the sun a few times. And I will show proof of this. I don't expect anyone to believe anything I say. I know what I'm saying pretty much contradicts most of what we're taught in school, most of what people think in society. And I used to look at people who speak of what I'm talking about back in the day like, I don't know, that guy might be a little crazy, or they may not know what's going on. I get it. If it's something completely on the opposite side of the spectrum of what you were taught, you're not going to believe it. It's going to take too much energy to bridge that gap for you to just say, okay, yeah, I get it. That's it. I'm on that side now. So it takes a minute. You got to walk to it when you're ready. So please, don't rush and jump on board. Yeah, this guy's right. He knows what he's talking about. Take your time. Process it through your gut instinct. Does this feel right? Then process it with love. Is this loving? Is this going to help me and my family and friends and everyone manifest a more positive reality? And then act with your mind. That's my recommendation. You do what you want. So the sun does shake us up. It has many aspects, many ways to do that. Number one, it can send out a pop, a flare. That flare, we've felt them, we've had them already. It can disrupt communications. It makes people stressed, anxious, anxiety. Why? Most people say, well, what do you mean? How does the sun cause you to be anxious or stressed? Well, again, everything is energy circulating and moving, vibrating, flowing. So, when that big ball of energy up there, a Torus, fluctuates or sends out a burp, that reverberation travels through these lines to these planets. Depends on where it's aimed. Most of the time, luckily, the sun will shoot them past us. I watch this almost every day. If you want to look into this and follow up with me, Ben Davidson, he's becoming a friend. I've been talking to him for over the years. I don't hang out with the guy, but he's a brilliant man, and I really appreciate the work he's doing. And I share his work as much as possible. Please, if you're interested, Suspicious Observers on YouTube. Check out his channel. He gets into this stuff with very good graphics, 3D details and things that I'm not into doing right now. But my point is to get to the roots, the foundation that somebody can understand quick and easy, and then they can build from there. Go to see Ben's work, and I have boards I wrote up names I'm going to be putting up on videos coming up here soon of all the people that I look at and research and follow. Not follow, but I research what they say. I don't like following anybody. If you're a follower, like my dad always told me growing up, don't be a caboose. If you follow what they do just because they're doing it, you're a caboose. Be a locomotive. Drive that train. Be in charge. Think for yourself. Don't just follow along like the caboose because it's the easy thing to do. Well, everyone's wearing a mask. It seems right. I'm just going to throw it on. I got to get my stuff from the store. But you're poisoning yourself, and you're submitting to the enslavers who are literally trying to make all of us submit. It's an ego trip. They want to look at all of us and say, oh, they got a mask on. Look at that. They were a bad dog. They were a bad animal because we were all protesting in October, November. And then everyone ran in the house scared. So they called their bluff, a lot of people's bluff, and they ran in the house, got scared. So we need to spread as much knowledge as we can. Ben's doing an amazing job. Him and his other friends that are doing Suspect Sky. I think Jamie's his name. Yeah, Jamie on Suspect Sky. They all deal with this. The Adam and Eve story, which we were taught in school about Adam and Eve. Read the Adam and Eve story if you really want to hear what it was about. It talks about these cataclysms when Earth and humans, us, consciousness, are living out of balance. The sun will send out warnings. If we don't get the warning over and over again, we didn't get all the warnings from earthquakes and stuff, it will send another flare to cause massive earthquakes. Because literally when the sun shoots out a wave of energy, this planet's going to ring like a bell. Vibrates. It expands because it got hot. It got energy. Inflammation. It inflames. She's already swollen because we're inflaming her with all the stuff we're doing. So when she's inflamed, everything stretches, expands, volcanoes erupt, earthquakes shake, and things move around. And if that doesn't get our attention, let's not hope for this part, but the sun can and has and can do again if we don't listen and take care of ourselves. Send a kill shot, a coronal mass ejection. It's literally part of the shell of the sun leaves in a wave. First we'll get hit with an X-ray blast, which will take a few minutes to get here. Even seconds it can happen, depends on how strong it is. And then we get hit with a wave. That could be in a few minutes too if it's strong enough. Usually that takes about a day or a day and a half for us to get hit, but if it's really strong, it'll be here faster than that. So if that happens, you get a kill shot hitting the whole side of the planet. Any side of the planet facing the sun, no longer exists. You're gone. I don't want to scare you, but literally the oceans evaporate. And if it's hot enough to evaporate miles of seawater like that, anyone on land is cooked, burned, and their ash is gone. And I'm being a little harsh, I guess, but it's time for us to discuss that and deal with it, because it's literally, when you're out of balance, we're seeing our society out of balance, our world out of balance. If we keep doing it, warnings will get worse until we listen. And that's one of the lessons we're taught in this world, is that our thoughts and emotions and actions don't affect this reality. We're just random particles bumping around making noise. Complete lie. Complete fallacy. You are an ocean of energy that was made by God, source, that power within all of us. And that source gives us power, a spark. We have that spark in our chest, in our heart, in our mind, connected to our heart and mind. And when we use that properly, we're manifesting this body in harmony. When we're using it out of harmony, we're manifesting this body imbalanced until it falls apart and dies. So the universe wants balance, wants harmony, but it wants growth. So not just perfect stagnant balance, but a little bit more positive. So for that, look at a pH scale. You know what? 1 second. I didn't bring my chalk out with me today. So, you have a pH scale. Chalkboard's getting ready to fall over, I know. It's homemade with garbage, I found, so be gentle on me on the comments. So in the middle, 7. That's base. That's neutral. That's stagnant. Your torus field's perfectly balanced. As far as I understand, as far as they're explaining it to us, in harmony. When you go lower or higher, actually I think they would say, I don't think it goes 0. So the lower you go, the more acidic you get. So down here, your torus field of molecules vibrates real fast. So think of acids like vinegar, distilled vinegar, apple cider vinegar. You would think lemon juice, but lemon actually has an alkalizing effect on the body, but it is still technically acidic. So what's happening is these torus fields are vibrating real fast. So they're like jostled. They're so fast that they're tearing themselves apart. It's like getting in your car and just punching the gas, redlining the engine. It's going to go real fast for a short period of time, but eventually you're going to blow the engine up and it's going to stop. So if you're too acidic, yeah, you're going to burn through some stuff, but at what cost? You're going to damage your body and become acidic. When you become that acidic, you break the mucous membrane down in your body. Again, I talked this in the previous video, but Dr. Sebi taught and practiced that when your mucous membrane that's around every part of your body, because every part of your body, the reason it moves and it's not all glued together, you can move stuff around, you have flexibility, is because you have fascia in between all the muscles, and you have a mucous membrane, like a lubricant. So it allows all this stuff to squeeze and move instead of just being rigid. So when you're acidic, when you're too far on this side, your torus is too jostled, it's chaotic, your mucous membrane gets chewed up wherever your body's acidic. And when that mucus gets chewed up, it moves around your body where it doesn't belong because it's meant to stay in your body still where it's at. When you break it down with an acid, it moves around, and then when it gets stuck, clogged in an armpit area or in your lungs or in your nasal passages or your digestive system, anywhere it gets stuck, you have stagnation. It's too far to this side. Alkaline, which means the molecule is spinning very slow. Well, that board might be done. So basically the molecule is moving very, very slow. So for example, for plants, if your soil's too alkaline for plants, the water molecules are not vibrating fast enough, the soil and the water really, the water's not vibrating fast enough to pull the nutrients up, for the plant to pull the nutrients up the stem. These plants use magnetism to pull that energy up the stem. If the water's too slow, think of a magnet trying to pull something a little too heavy. It'll pull, and then it just drops down. It's just too heavy. Let me turn that off real quick. So it's the same idea. You want your body to be... Oh, let's erase this actually. So for my next chalkboard, I'm doing a piece of drywall, but I want to leave this one outside. But it is rough for the eraser and chalk. It's a little rough on it. So you want 7.35 or to 7.45. This is according to Dr. Jerry Tenant. Healing is Voltage on YouTube. If you want to look at Thunderbolt's project on YouTube, that's their channel name. It's called Healing is Voltage by Dr. Jerry Tenant. A brilliant man. If you understand the electrical circuitry of the body as he does, and the mucous membrane as Dr. Sebi does, and the magnetic frequencies and vibration like Ken Wheeler does, Wheeler-Theoria Apophasis, or Santos Bonacci does, or Ben Davidson does with the space weather. If you understand all these pieces of the puzzle, like these guys do, and women, there's a lot of women out there too, I just didn't name Sylvie. History, we're going to get into history, she's amazing. This lady Sylvie has ancient, New Earth channel. You can go see her New Earth channel on YouTube, or she has a website still up, I believe. It's not taken down yet. They're trying. But she has links to history all over the world. Same with John Levi, another great channel to check out. History of Tartaria, the ancient reset that we had last. I know I'm on a tangent here, but let's go 7.35 to 7.45. That's the basic alkalinity that you want your body to be at, which equivalates to minus 25 millivolts is when your body's balanced. Minus 50 millivolts is when your body's healing. So if you get a cut, wherever that cut's at, you're going to have, hopefully if your body's healing right, you'll have a charge of minus 20 millivolts. That means your body, you're giving electrons. This minus sign actually means giving energy, which is another manipulation, because when I was growing up in school, I was thinking the opposite. And I realized, well, if you have positive 25 over here on the acidic, that means it's taking. So if you're here, you're on your way to imbalance, cancer, tumors, unhealthiness, because it's literally taking energy from your body. The acidity is stripping. Sorry, I didn't mean to get your tail. You alright? It's stripping your torus field. She wants food, so she's sitting right under your feet. She's fine. So you're stripping your torus field because you're too acidic. And when that happens, you're looking at around these numbers here. You're taking energy from your body, which then makes your body divide incorrectly, which then makes tumors form. Tumors are forming because in people's bodies, cancer, what they call cancer, is caused because people are too far on the acidic side, number one, which equates to, number two, their electrical system is not circulating, it's not flowing properly. So their torus is not flowing the right way. It's either too acidic, or too acidic in this case, or it can be too alkaline. And when it's too acidic, the cells divide incorrectly because they're vibrating so fast they're damaging themselves. And the DNA that's building all of this inside, we'll get to that in another video, is actually being damaged. It's being rewritten and programmed inharmoniously, or unharmoniously. And again, your DNA records everything that's ever happened to anyone. So anyone that's in my family lineage, in my DNA, is the memories in my DNA. Everything they've ever done, thought, felt, all of it. Everything I've done, thought, felt, and experienced is in my DNA. That's why scientists say most of it's junk DNA, and only part of it we know. 90% of it's junk, they say. No, that's a lie. Because if somebody's telling you it's the most elaborate, complex storage mechanism in the universe, we cannot replicate it. It is so amazing that it holds infinite amount of memory. And then at the same time, they're saying, well, 90% of it's garbage. We don't know what it is, so it doesn't mean anything. It's garbage, junk DNA. I don't know how do they get away with this stuff, but the most elaborate complex storage mechanism in existence, we're being told, is 90% garbage by people who are giving us false teachings from the start. And in our last videos, they tell you space is empty. From the foundation, they're wrong. Okay? I love them. I have all respect for them for what a lot of them are trying to do. But the part I don't respect is the fact that many of them know what they're doing, and some of them don't know, but their egos got so caught up in learning and getting their, their degrees. A degree of falsity. How many degrees did you go into that corrupt system to see how brainwashed you really are? Because it's being, and that sounds judgmental. I don't mean to be judgmental at all. It's just a little bit of residual, I guess, built up from the experience I had with the system. They nearly killed me. I nearly allowed them to kill me because I kept going back to them. So it was my fault to go to them, but I let them cut me open, poison me with pharmaceuticals. I didn't know about stretching, about yoga, what kind of water to drink, what kind of food to drink. That's why I'm doing these videos again. So I think that's a good enough tangent to wrap this up, except I'd like to show you one more thing before we end. Can you make that out? Yeah. This is a world map. This is from the 1600s, so they say. We'll talk about that, but a lot of times in these old maps and old history, they write the one like an I. And it was for Jesus, so it'd be, instead of 1625, I don't know what this is. I don't know the exact year of this one, but around 1625, the right area. So if it was 1625, that I would actually be I, so after Jesus, 625. So there's a 1,000-year question mark in there. A lot of people are concerning. It's a good question to think about. I'm not saying it happened. I'm not saying they manipulated 1,000 years, but for a fact they have manipulated time. Just going to the Gregorian calendar changed our year. And if you understand how important the cycles are, the sun, your zodiac, the earth, what day, what season it is, if we don't know what time it is, and we don't know our history, we have no clue what's going on, for the most part. So our history has been manipulated for a fact. I'm going to prove that in the next couple of videos. Our physics has been manipulated. That's a fact. I've already proved that. Many others have. I'm picking up work from all them and what I figured out myself. And our current calendar is manipulated as well. So a lot of manipulation to fish through and find out what's really going on. So the reason I showed you this old map, not because of the year, but because if you look, these guys knew. They hide it everywhere. Look at buildings. Look at ancient pictures. Look at old poems and literature. They were telling you the truth right in front of your face all the time. The buildings, the stories, the pictures. This right here is the Torus field. So you see these two shapes? We saw this in the previous video in the magnetism. When I showed you the two magnets repelling each other, they were forming these shapes. Or if you look at it that way, what you're looking at is essentially, you have the dielectric plane in the middle, you have your Z-pinch, or what they call a black hole, and then you have the circles. This is where matter terra firma is made, and this is where the magnetic fields go around. So it's showing you, this would be the dielectric plane right here in the middle. They're opening it up. And they're doing the circle around for you. And if you look at all these lines are forming just like magnetic lines do as well. So you see these lines are coming off. So magnetism, they know how this world's made. They knew how this world was made. We're being taught lies to manipulate us so we can be manipulated because time is short and it's time of the cycle that we either crap or get off the pot. Either harmonize yourself and heal yourself and work with everyone and help and heal your karmic debt, or you don't, you just keep playing along and then crash. So it's, and when I say time is short, I don't mean it's like, oh, tomorrow's the end of the world. I mean, now, the present moment. It's always the time to improve yourself if you choose, or do the opposite. It's your free will to do whatever you choose to do. Now is just, in my opinion, it's more of a time where so many people have been manipulated that the momentum was going the wrong way. So it's time for people to really step up and go the right way, the correct way, harmonious way. And it's not up to me to say what's right and wrong. I'm just, the way I look at it, if it's harmonious, if it's flowing in harmony, if the torus is flowing in harmony, if everything's working out smoothly, not completely stagnant, 7s, but a little bit higher, 7.35, 7.45. Just a little bit on the side of growth, of harmony, not on the side of acidity. So you're just on the other side of that neutral. So you're neutral, but on the healthy side, just over, which gives you growth instead of neutral is stagnant too. This is slow, this is too fast, this is stuck in the middle. So you want to be just above stuck in the middle, working on the positive side. And yeah, that's today. So Ben Davidson, Suspicious Observers, Santos Bonacci, Mr. AstroTheology, sorry, Ken Wheeler-Theoria Apophasis, Douglas Vogt, Die Help Foundation. I haven't talked about him yet. I'm going to get into all these people soon. But Doug Vogt gets into this with Ben Davidson, explaining the proof of how these cycles happen and how the sun shakes up the earth. I have not seen him yet say why it happens, but he does really dig in deep to the history of it, showing who manipulated things. There's so many hours. That's why I'm doing this now, so you can at least start and get into what you want to, if you want to figure it out. So with that, I'll leave you guys, and I'll talk to you on the next video. Thank you very much. Oh, and today is August 3rd, 2020. I usually do it at the beginning of the video just to keep a track record. So I don't think I did that in this video, but I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you. I love you all. Be well.